Do you ever feel like life used to feel different? Not just different, better, lighter somehow. Like there was something about being a kid, or even just being a few years younger, that just felt more real than it does now. That feeling has a name. Most people call it nostalgia. But I don't think that word does it justice. Because nostalgia sounds like something soft, something harmless. And this feeling you get when a certain song comes on, or when the light hits a certain way in October, it doesn't feel soft. It feels like a loss. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I want to try and explain it. Not just as a feeling, but as something worth understanding. Because I think a lot of us carry this around without ever really looking at it. This low-level ache that's for a time that's gone. A version of life that felt warmer. It felt slower, more full of something that you can't quite name or put your finger on. And it's not depression. It's not sadness, exactly. It's more like you catch a glimpse of something from far away, and for a second you feel the weight of how much time has passed. That's the feeling I want to talk about today. Where it comes from, and what it means. And honestly, what it might be trying to tell us. Let me take you somewhere for a second. It's a Tuesday afternoon. You're 12, maybe 13 years old. Or for you, it might be even younger. But regardless, the school day ends at 3 p.m. And the moment you walk out of those gates, something lifts off your shoulders. You're not thinking about anything. You're just free. You get home, drop your bag, and the first thing you do, before anything else, is turn on the Xbox 360. That startup sound. If you know, you know. You load into Minecraft. No plan, no goal. You're just building something, wandering, digging tunnels that go nowhere. You're waiting for your friends to come online because you were the first one home and the first one to turn on the Xbox. And somehow 2 hours pass and it doesn't feel like anything was wasted. It just felt like living. Or maybe you go outside. Not because someone made you, but you just go. You walk round to your friend's house. You don't text first to see if they're free. You just knock on that door. And either they're in or they're not. And if they're not, you try someone else's door. That was normal. That was just how it worked. You spend whole afternoons outside doing basically nothing. Kicking or throwing a ball, sitting on a wall, talking about nothing in particular. And those days felt long. Not long like boredom. Long like there was enough room in them to breathe. Summer especially. I don't know how to explain this to someone who hasn't felt it, but summer days as a kid felt endless, like time itself moved slower, like the light lasted longer than it had any right to. Nothing was urgent, nothing was optimized. You weren't trying to be productive or build habits or track anything. You were just there, fully, completely there. So why did it feel like that? Why did everything seem to carry more weight, more colour? Part of it is simple. You had less responsibility. You weren't carrying a mortgage or a job or whatever it is that keeps our adult brains permanently half distracted. Your world was smaller, which meant everything in it felt bigger. But I think there's more to it than that. When you were a kid, everything was new. Not just in an exciting way, new in a deep way. Every experience was one you hadn't had before. The first time you discovered a new game, the first time a film made you feel emotional, the first time summer felt like freedom. Your brain was laying down these rich, dense memories because it was encountering the world for the very first time. And here's something strange. Scientists actually have a theory about why childhood feels so long in memory. When everything is new, your brain encodes more detail. More detail means more memories. More memories means that time, when you look back on it, feels stretched. It felt like it lasted forever. But the other thing, and this one is the big one, is that you were present. You weren't watching your own life from behind a phone screen. You weren't thinking about how it looked or what you'd post later. You were just in it, completely in it. Now, I want to be honest with you here, because nostalgia has a way of lying to us. It wasn't all good. There were hard days back then too. There was loneliness and embarrassment and nights where you didn't feel okay. Being a kid isn't some perfect golden era. It just looks that way from here. What nostalgia does is edit. It keeps the warm parts and quietly drops the rest. It's not a documentary. It's a highlight reel. A feeling that says, that was better, but conveniently forgets the bits that weren't. But here's the thing I keep coming back to. Even knowing that, even knowing it wasn't perfect, there's still something true in the feeling. Something worth listening to. Because I don't think we're actually missing those specific days. We're missing how we felt in them. We're missing being present, being absorbed, being somewhere without needing to be anywhere else. We're missing the version of ourselves that wasn't constantly half somewhere else. And we didn't even know it was happening. We didn't realise, sitting on that wall, talking about nothing, we didn't realise that was it. That was the good stuff. We were in it and we couldn't see it. Fast forward to now, and I'm not going to do the whole phones are ruining our lives speech, because I don't think it's as simple as that. But I do think something has shifted. There's a kind of frictionlessness to modern life that sounds good, but isn't entirely. Everything is instant. Every moment of boredom has an escape hatch. You're never just sitting with yourself, because there's always something in your pocket ready to pull your attention somewhere else. And what happens is time starts to compress. The days begin to blur. You look up and it's November. You look up and another year has gone. Not because bad things happened, just because you weren't fully in any of it. Your brain isn't laying down those rich memories anymore, because nothing is quite new enough, and you'll never quite present enough. And so time passes further and faster, or at least it feels that way. And because of this, the nostalgia hits harder, because the present feels thin and the past feels like proof that it doesn't have to be. So what do we do with all of this? I think the feeling of nostalgia, that ache, is actually one of the more honest signals we get. It's not just sadness, it's information. It's your life telling you what it needs. When you feel that pull towards the past, I don't think you're supposed to chase it. I think you're supposed to ask, what was true about that time that I've drifted away from? What did I have then that I've slowly let go of? And usually, if you sit with it, the answer isn't a place or a game or a specific summer afternoon. The answer is simpler than that. It's that I was present. It was that I had a real connection. I wasn't performing anything. I was just alive in the moment that I was actually in. You can't go back. That's not what this is about. But you can let that feeling point you somewhere. You can let it show you what you're quietly hungry for. There's something in my faith that I keep coming back to when I think about this. And I'm going to say it simply because I don't want to overcomplicate it. I think a lot of longing for the past is really longing for a kind of wholeness. A feeling that life had meaning. That you were connected to something, to people, to moments, and to yourself. And I think that longing is actually pointing somewhere good. It's not weakness. It's not immaturity. It's a sign that you were made for more than just getting through the days. But I also think staying in the past, living there emotionally, is a way of missing your own life. The life that's happening right now. And I don't think that's what you were made for either. What I'm learning, slowly and imperfectly, is that the goal isn't to recover from what was. It's to build something real out of what is. To be as present in the season as you were in that one, even when the season is harder to love. If you felt this, if you've had that moment where a song or a smell on a random Tuesday afternoon made you feel like something was missing, I just want to say that that's not weakness. That's not you being stuck. That's you being human. It's okay to miss the past. It's okay to feel the weight of the time passing. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt a little, because it does. But I also want you to hear this. You are not behind. You haven't missed your chance at a meaningful life just because your childhood is over or because you're not where you thought you'd be. Meaningful moments don't have an age limit. You can still knock on someone's door instead of texting. You can still lose track of time doing something that actually matters to you. You can still have a conversation that goes on longer than what it was supposed to. You can still have days that feel long in the best way. It won't look the same. It's not supposed to. But it can still be real. Life changes. That's just what it does. The version of you that had no responsibilities and endless summer days, that season ended, the way all seasons end. But I think the thing that made those days feel full, the presence, the simplicity, the genuine connection, none of that is locked in the past. It's just harder to access now. There's more noise in the way. More speed, more distraction. So maybe that's the thing to take from this. Not to wish you were younger. Not to spend another evening staring at old photos and feeling sad. But to ask, what would it look like to actually show up to my life today? To just put the phone down. To be with the person I'm with. To notice what is actually around me. The good old days might actually be right now. You just won't know it until later. Thanks for watching.